Hello and welcome guys to this HeflaTV presentation of the Join Dota League Season number 3, the Asian Division 2 GSe7en versus VoLT Tortures in a 2-game series. GSe7en, they already went through one 2-game series, tying that up 1-1 in the second game. So we'll see if they can do just as well, if not better this time around. My name is Coucher and I am joined by Grandis V for this game.
Yeah, I don't know, something a little bit interesting coming out from the draft. Early on, we're going to have a Meepo ban coming out from VoLT, but based on those last two games that I watched GSe7en play, they absolutely love their Meepo. The first game they played it with Kenji on the Meepo, and it, I don't know, felt kind of flat, but Leo absolutely carried the second game on the Meepo that they both picked up fairly late into the draft, as most people wouldn't ban it out. I think the first ban Meepo here is, I don't know, definitely warranted, but VoLT are going to go ahead and pick up a first pick Mirana, leaving the Faceless Void Skywrath Mage combo in the pool. GSe7en are going to be all too happy to pick this out.
Yeah, they definitely are. That's actually how they started their second game draft, just in the previous game as well. And the Mirana, as a first pick, it feels like we're back in like March or April or something at the moment. That hero has fallen off. Yes, it's still strong, of course. It's just a point blank arrow, it does absolutely nothing anymore. That's the biggest worry about the Mirana. And will they go for the setup now as well? Will they pick up something like a Bane or Shadow Demon now to accompany it? Or are they just going to pick up something like a Brewmaster?
I would like to see a Shadow Shaman here as setup for the arrow with the shackles, as well as just being a more solid hero than the Bane or the Shadow Demon usually. But if they do pick up something like the Shadow Demon or Bane, both are very good against the Faceless Void. You have Enfeeble as well as holding it in place with the Fiend Script inside the Chronosphere, and then defensive disruptions are also very good. So I think any of your three fairly traditional combos with the Mirana would all be good picks.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Shaman definitely is the more solid support at the moment. Just, I think overall in this current meta game, it's so important that you can actually have the ability to push towers as well. But second pick Slark, what are we seeing?
I really don't like this. They're lacking a lot of setup for these two heroes. I think it's going to be mandatory that they do pick up a setup support. But since they did go for the Slark here, it's more likely that the Shadow Shaman is going to be banned out. So they're probably going to be left with either the Bane or the Shadow Demon. I think Shadow Demon is probably the best hero to combo with the Mirana and Slark if you don't have the Shadow Shaman available. Also works good against the Faceless Void. So I'd expect Shadow Shaman as well as Shadow Demon to both be banned out by GSe7en, unless there's something else that VoLT are very prone to running.
Yeah, I mean, this Slark, it's just, the Chronosphere is so good against the Slark, to be honest, because you can even catch him in the Shadow Dance with that. And it's not like it's hard for the Faceless Void to see where the Slark is when he has the Shadow Dance around him. And of course, Skywrath Mage can possibly just silence up the Slark and get him down that way, because Slark early on, he's actually not really a tanky hero at all. So if he gets caught by the Chrono, Mystic Flare on top might be just an easy kill unless Slark just gets a ridiculously early good start, snowballs away with like 18-20 minute Eye of Skydia or something crazy like that. But GSe7en, first ban in the second phase, just the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I don't know, as it stands, that is what VoLT are going to be forced into, it seems. They just need to get off to a really good early start. They need to play aggressively, get some kills early on whatever GSe7en have put against them. Maybe even go aggressive if that is a safe lane Faceless Void. Either way, we actually have an Abaddon banned out by GSe7en. Honestly, I don't like this ban. I don't think they would pick that up for themselves, and well, I think it would have been better on GSe7en's team anyway, up against the Mirana Arrow. Just not really feeling where it's going to fit in. It would be very nice for the Slark to just have that constant backup where you put the shield on the Slark and they can just run rampant through the team fights. But, I don't know. VoLT and Tortures are going to go ahead and ban out the Death Prophet as well, combo as well with the Faceless Void, and just another hero that's very scary to go up against. If you saw GSe7en winning a fight with the Death Prophet, they could mow down towers very quickly.
Yeah, the Death Prophet is definitely such a popular pick at the moment as well. Just because of the ability, like you said, to just mow down towers. But not only that, also just really good for pushing as well as taking Roche, especially being on the dire side. But GSe7en, going for an Enigma, more team fight, some push, as well as of course the ability to go Roche if there's something at all to just create the Eidolons from.
Yeah, definitely. Also, they are on the dire side. We might even see a medallion built on this Enigma to make that Roshan even quicker. And depending on what supports you have, you can pretty much just do that with your two supports. And if they're missing off the map, it's very unlikely that VoLT are going to know what's going on. But yeah, Enigma's still a solid hero. Gives them a lot of teamfight presence. I don't know, they have great ways to catch out the Slark and Mirana before they leap away.
Yeah, and how high would you rate the chances of G7 picking up a Bloodseeker purely to counter the Slark?
Fairly low. With the Faceless Void, it's really hard for the Bloodseeker to get into the Chronosphere and can't really do any damage. Inside of it, there's not really great ways to combo with that as well. I don't know, it wouldn't be the most surprising pick, but I think there's just better heroes that could synergize better with the Faceless Void.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree with you there. It's like the two heroes there, the exact opposite. Faceless Void with his ultimate wants to lock people in place, whereas the Bloodseeker, for the Rupture to actually do damage, he wants them to move. Same with the Black Hole, more or less. So definitely wouldn't be too high of a synergy between their own team. But Volant Tortures, picking up a Lich now, so getting something that can stop the Enigma's Black Hole even through a BKB if needed.
Yeah, definitely. But back on the Bloodseeker just for a little split second. It is good against the Mirana, Slark, and Lich, and if they're able to chase them down, Bloodseeker could do well up against the enemy team. So even if it doesn't have a lot of synergy with their own, it still works decently well against the Volant Tortures. I don't know, this Lich pickup feels a little too passive for me with the Slark. It's just not a very snowbally support, can't rotate, get very many kills. It's usually just there in order to win a single lane. G7 are going to go ahead and pick up the Centaur Warner, and this is another hero that can really jump onto these squishy ones like the Slark, Mirana, and Lich if he's able to get his stomp up and maybe have a little follow-up with the Silence coming up from the Skywrath Mage. And, I don't know, he combos extremely well with the Skywrath, with the Silence on them, Double Edge, as well as the War Stomp going onto hero. That's pretty much a dead Lich, and I don't think any of these heroes already on the VoLT team are going to be immune from that.
They definitely aren't. I mean, just Ancient Seal into any magical burst is gonna hurt, and Centaur, the Double Edge is one of the highest magic damage bursts that there is almost, at least apart from ultimates. So it's scary, and of course Centaur is just a hero that can tank it up in the front lines for ages to come, but a Silencer pickup, and that of course is a counter to Faceless Void somewhat, to Enigma of course as well. So I don't mind that pickup in that sense, but it still leaves all of the heroes to be so extremely squishy, and if the Global Silence has already been used once, what's to stop G7 from just wrecking a team fight straight after that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. The Silencer in a vacuum looks good up against G7's team, but with the picks that they already have, this Silencer is going to be so prone, as are the other heroes, to just being bursted down. If G7 are able to get the jump on Void, I don't see them winning a team fight, especially if they catch the Silencer out inside the Chrono.
Yeah, the Silencer's positioning is just gonna be the number one thing that Void has to be just wary of all the time. It's gonna be so extremely hard. And G7, they only still have one pick left as well. Tinker was banned out. Of course, Tinker could have just created so much trouble overall for Void. So we'll see what G7 is going for. Do you have like any special hero in mind that would fit?
Not really. They could go for a lot of things. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a Queen of Pain here, or maybe even a Templar Assassin. Just another hero that can completely blow up these squishy heroes on the side of Void. And, I don't know, Invoker would also combo well with the Enigma push, as well as with the Faceless Void just being able to pump out even more damage into that Chronosphere.
Yeah, that actually would be pretty damn sick. And since even the Forge Spirits, it just set them on the supports, and the harass is so strong, and well, I guess you just spot on. Invoker pick it is for them. But
yep, I don't know. I think G7's lineup is just all around a lot better than Void's, but you still have the X factor of execution. If they're able to get off to a good start, Silencer, Slark, and Mirana can all snowball fairly effectively.
Yeah, they definitely can. And this Silencer, at least it should be, I think, a farming one. Depending on how they want to use the Mirana. If they want to send the Mirana offlane, I guess it's going to be a support Silencer. And how would you actually prefer them play the Silencer?
I personally prefer a farming Silencer. I think getting an early Aghanim Scepter is really great. I don't know. I think as a support, he just kind of falls off really quickly. But up against a Centaur, he can zone him decently well, especially against a Dire Centaur Warrior, a very weak laner by his own. But they're going to go ahead and pick up a Clockwork here. How are these lanes going to break down? They really don't have a lot of good setup for the Mirana outside of the cogs coming out from the Clockwork.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be so hard to execute for Void at the moment. Especially, I mean, Clockwork, yes, he can keep people in place with the cogs for the Slark to maybe get that follow-up. pounce or Mirana to get the arrow. But Slark, does he really want to pounce into the Cogs? Because the Cogs is actually perfect setup for the Invokers, Chaos Meteor and Sunstrike as well. So I'm just not overly convinced by the last pick and overall the lineup of Void, but maybe they will just completely prove me wrong.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see.
So, to go over the lineups, to just introduce the guys too fast. For VoLT, I mean, I already forgot the long name for it, man. Wait, I'm gonna look it up, man.
Volantortures.
Yeah, man. Do you have any idea what it even means?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me neither, but I guess just to introduce them anyway. Jojo Balarjo, playing on the Slark in the safe lane solo by the looks of it. Quatsa, actually mid lane Clockwork so far. Having Maru on the Mirana. Blastenek playing the Lich as well as the stand-in Mesmeriza playing the Silencer in an aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, and on the side of G7, we're going to have a Faceless Void. Looks like he's heading towards the offlane, handled by Kenji. The other 4 heroes are clumped up on this hill in the mid lane. We're going to have a Nigma played by Kale. And then we're also going to have the Invoker, presumably going towards the mid lane, played by Leo. The Skyreth Mage going to be handled by Linger. And then we're going to have a Centaur Warner, played by Shoti.
Oh man, this aggressive tri-lane, it's not the worst aggressive tri-lane by any means, of course. Although Lich, you can see that they actually want to go for the kills early on because he skilled up Frost Blast. And I'm not too sure how well it's gonna work out for them. Usually just want to go for a straight out sacrifice to start gaining the XP advantage in a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation. But are they gonna block off some camps to just stop the Enigma from jungling freely?
It's pretty late to do so, but they will drop an Observer Ward over at that median camp, which does slow down the Enigma's farm progression by quite much, but he does have the medium camp down here as well as the large camp to deal with, so he still has 2 where he can jungle quite efficiently. Yeah, it's still yet to be seen who's going to be the farming hero inside this tri-lane, whether it's the Mirana, but it looks like the Silencer is going to be the one taking the farm. Both of them started out with fairly similar items, just a bunch of regen and stats.
Yeah, actually Silencer might be looking for an urn as well early on, so they definitely want to take the fight to GSe7en at the moment. They don't want to let them farm up, especially the Enigma in the jungle there as well. So if it works out for them, they might be able to just create a snowball big enough to completely take over the game. But I'm mostly worried for this mid lane Clockwork, especially once Leo starts getting some Forge Spirits for himself.
Yeah, I think what they'll do is as soon as Clockwork hits his 6, they'll start roaming around the map, and then they'll put somebody else towards the mid lane. Possibly the Mirana or the Silencer, whoever they want to get a little bit extra, but still they're not going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto the Invoker at all once he gets off to this fairly good start. The 2 supports are disrupting the Enigma's jungle. It looks like they're going to take out one of the Eidolons as well as a couple of his creeps. This is not the fastest start, and actually the Silencer is going to die up top just with that Skyreth Mage Centaur combination.
Yeah, I guess the Kakashi shot bought enough time for the Centaur to actually... Oh, the arrow lands! Do they actually have enough to get the kill? I don't think so. The Frost Blast is there. They might even get the kill. 5-second arrow, so damn long, Double Edge. He actually helped kill himself a little bit, but with that, they got 1 counter, so still, in the end, they came out ahead, 2-1 for them.
Yeah, unfortunate that the Centaur had to die there, but in the end, I think he was dead either way, so throwing out that Double Edge and securing the kill on Mirana was probably the better choice.
Yeah, it definitely might have been, but looking for a second on this bottom lane, Kenji, of course, struggling a little bit against the Slark. Slark himself is dropping low as well, but once Slark hits level 6, he's just gonna have full HP most of the time, just go hide in the trees and come back. He's 10-1 compared to the 6-1 on Kenji, so at least Slark is also getting a decent amount done on this bottom lane.
Yeah, both have poor man shields, so they're not going to be trading that effectively. Slark needs to be careful once the Faceless Void gets level 6, because a rotation coming up from the Skyreth Mage would secure a fairly easy kill. But for now, everybody's going to be playing fairly defensively. The Mirana might be looking for rotation. Looks like she's just going to shoot an arrow mid, trying to fish for this Invoker. I doubt it's going to hit, but if they do, maybe they'll be able to get a kill.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, if he really wants to go, the arrow, flying, oh, spot on, but the Clockwork, where is he? He's just so damn far. He went in to just give his bottle away, and Dio might still go down. Maru going for a few more right clicks. The Quas. Is the region gonna be enough? The cold snap comes out. Mirana actually can't go for the kill. The tower helps out as well, and oh my god. I can't believe this didn't end up in a kill on an Invoker.
Yeah, Quas OP, diving an Invoker, always a scary thing to do when he has the Cold Snap. That was only level 1 Cold Snap, in fact. So, I don't know. Like, that's very unfortunate the Clockwork wasn't there for just one more auto attack. All he had was the Flare to throw.
Yeah, and with this now, Invoker is level 5 as well, and when the Invoker gets a level advantage in this matchup, it just become a war of domination. But the Cold Snap, it only being level 1, I think the tower just made the biggest difference, just getting those extra few procs of the Cold Snap there.
Yeah, definitely. For now, we do have the Scarlet Mage going down towards bottom, but without the Chronosphere on the Faceless Void, it looks like the Slark should be just fine, and indeed he will. I don't know, just kind of soaked a little bit of experience away from the Faceless Void, both of them sitting at level 4, whereas the Slark is level 5.
Yeah, and since the rotation actually came out, Kenji has been pulling ahead in last hits as well. So, at least stopping the Slark from farming, getting that early either Blink Dagger or Shadow Blade. And actually, people just divide into two somewhat. Some people love Shadow Blades, some people love Blink Daggers on Slark. Of course, it depends on the games and the heroes they're up against, but what would you prefer the Slark go for in this game?
Let's see, I think Tread's Drums wouldn't be that bad either, but probably just Tread's Blink in order to try to pick off the Skywrath Mage on the backlines, but still jumping into this enemy team is extremely dangerous. You can get caught out by his silence, and then the Skywrath Mage ulti, Centaur can jump onto you.
Oh, top lane, Silencer in huge trouble, Enigma comes in, level 2 Malphite, hooves down to follow, Sunstrike there as well, and... well, don't leave a Silencer solo off lane.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the story of how this top lane has gone for the Silencer. Even without the Skywrath Mage there, it's just such an easy kill. As soon as Enigma shows his face, the Malphite allows the Centaur Warner to get an easy hoof stomp. Even without the Invoker stealing kill with the Sunstrike, it should have been a fairly easy one for them to take.
Yeah, and actually the Slark just completely gets harassed out of lane, does blast the neck, no salves. So actually Slark has to run all the way back home. If only he had that level 6, would be just easy reaching up, but not to be. And now Enigma put some pressure on the tier 1 top lane. Probably not gonna get it at this time, and Clockwork, he's about to hit level 6, so we'll see if he will do exactly what you said, that just stay in mid, get at level 6 and start rotating around and making things happen for your team.
Yeah, this first rotation coming out from the Clockwork needs to net a kill for them. I don't know, Faceless Void's not the easiest kill. He has the Time Walk should he need to get out of trouble, but with the Invisibility Rune, maybe Clockwork should be able to set something up down the bottom lane. Skywrath Mage still sitting at level 5, so he's not going to have the risk of having the Skywrath Mage ulti dropped him in, and Quadza looking for the Skywrath Mage, looking for the perfect cogs. They're pinging out the Faceless Void, but in the end he's trying to chase down this support here. Doesn't drop the cogs, and with Centaur ulti, he might be able to get out. No, the pounce comes out from the Slark, and they're going to be able to blow him up. So in the end, could have been worse for G7, and yeah. I don't know, I think that's okay for G7. There was an Invis Rune on the clock. They didn't really have good intel on where he was. The Invoker probably should have been checking his bottle to see the Invis, and with the Mirana in lane, it was fairly obvious that he was rotating. Maybe they should have expected it a little bit more. But either way, still, getting kill on the Clockwork is pretty mandatory.
Yeah, I think it's fine for them since it was a Skywrath Mage. Maru, Cold Snap comes out, but Quadza is there as well to just make Leo back off, and actually might still catch him in the cogs, but the result is there, cogs, nope, not gonna come out.
Yeah, I don't know, just a little bit scary. Wouldn't have been able to find the angle for the arrow coming out from the Mirana. If they did have that combo, maybe they'd be able to chase down the Invoker. Invoker going to back off, playing Ring Around the Rosies a little bit, but now the hook shot comes out from the Clockwork. Didn't have to use it for that last, but the arrow's going to be off the mark. Went wide left, Cold Snap goes the way of the Mirana. The Invoker's still falling for a little black hole, though. Is going to catch out only the Clockwork. Sunstrike goes out into the clock. Invoker's just so darn low. The uphill miss. He's not going to be able to get the kill on the Silencer. Skywrath Mage has one more nuke to throw. It should be able to get this kill on the Mirana. I don't think she has a leap available, and she won't. So 2 kills being fed the way of G7.
Oh wow, that uphill miss though by Silencer, so unlucky. And actually Silencer not a single point into last word as well. That is an extremely weird build, especially if you're up against an Enigma, for example, maybe even. I mean, you get the last word, if you want to cast a black hole, immediate silence up. And of course, just the 150 damage nuke on the first level is so damn good to have. But he's maxing out Glaives of Wisdom instead. A little bit weird, I have actually never ever seen this kind of build, I think, where you just don't go for even a single point in last word.
Yeah, usually you see them put 1 point into Glaives of Wisdom. They might max out Curse of the Silence if they are rushing that Aghanim Scepter, but still, an unconventional build that will give him a decent amount of damage, but still he doesn't have a lot of intelligence, to back that one up just now. So, I don't know, really banking on the fact that they're going to Snowball.
Yeah, and actually the biggest thing I think about them missing the kill on Leo there was the arrow missed.
Yeah, would have been such an easy kill had that arrow just been split hair towards the right. Mirana just miscalculating. Center ultimate going to be deployed down and bottom. They're going to blow up the Slark here. Sunstrike not even needed. Yeah, so easy to kill that Slark once you have him in the Chronosphere, especially with the magic nuke damage coming out from the Scarlet Mage. He did not stand a chance.
Yeah, and actually, Genji with this now, he has his Hand of Midas finished, the recipe flying out to him as we speak. Medallion of Courage also picked up on Kalai's Enigma. So you were saying that you hope for them, or at least it's a possibility that they will go for the earlier Roche, and exactly what they did. Force Spirits can be, of course, used to just tank up the Roche for extra damage as well. So, it's everything almost is going G7's way so far.
Yeah, I don't know, I think they could probably just send, once he gets double Forge Spirits online at level 9, I think Leo could just send the Forge Spirits in with the Enigma, and they could pretty much solo Roshan by their own. Enigma does have the headdress, so he's going to be the mechanism builder for their team. Not really anybody else can build it. I mean, Centaur theoretically could build the mechanism, but really you want that Blink Dagger online ASAP.
Yeah, it's definitely priority number 1 for most Centaurs at least. Actually, I think it was today, I don't even remember, but I saw a Centaur maxing out return first. It was so weird, of course. He was in a lane where the supports didn't rotate around for kills at all, they just completely focused on harassing the Centaur. But not to beat this time around. He's actually only 600 gold away from the blink as well, unless VoLT can get an arrow now.
Well, let's see. No, lands on the range creeps. These arrows, they just don't have a good way of setting them up, so they're fairly easy to dodge, and he goes for these blind arrows, and they're just not panning out for him. He got that one arrow on the Invoker mid, but even that didn't net a kill because of the Cold Snap under tower. So I think really what needs to happen is Quadza as well as this Mirana need to roam around together and try to get kills. It looks like they might be looking to do so, but they're just kind of sitting in lane as of now.
Yeah, and actually now Enigma just soloed Roche. Finally Invoker comes in as well with the 4-step, but I mean, Roche was so low as it is anyway. But early Enigma, oh not early Enigma, early Roche, huh? Global Silence, they're gonna get Genji bottom lane probably, yes they are. So they got the pounce, Mirana arrow, don't know if it even landed properly, but they finally get 1 kill. They used Global Silence for it though now, and GSe7en, they might just go for push mid lane on top of this.
Yeah, I mean, they used Global Silence, they gave away the Roshan, it's just not looking too great for them. Enigma looks like he's going to be forced back, especially with that flare being thrown out. He's going to drop a Midnight Pulse, very interestingly enough. I don't know, they'll be able to put at least a little bit of damage on this tier 1, but I don't think they'll be able to take it at least with this wave. Cold Snap onto the Lich. Where's the damage? The arrow is going to be juked by Leo walking forward, but he's still falling low. The hookshot's going to be off the market as well. Those maxed out Glaives of Wisdom are going to do work on the Invoker. They at least get the Aegis off. Clockwork going to get the cogs, bounces the Invoker back up towards the hill. He's going to be bounced back yet again. Leo 4-stepped away. Chronosphere going to be on the 2. Scarlet Mage ulti's going to be split between them, but the Sunstrike is not. Faceless Void gets the kill onto the Mirana. Oh my goodness, just look at the damage coming up from the double edge. Slark is trying to focus down the Scarlet Mage, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks with a stun coming up from the Centaur Warrior, and 4 years dead in the mid lane.
Oh, GSe7en, they played that so well, Leo. I mean, he had the Aegis, and he was the frontline tank as well, and they didn't even have Enigma for that. And now this is going to be tier 1 as well. With this tier 1, Enigma going to get so much closer to his mech. Linger also went for a run of but the Chain Frost actually comes out, but Leo, he force-steps himself in aggressively, might pay the price for it, and indeed he does. Oh man, this Lich, man mode.
Yeah, his Forge Spirit just kind of killed him there. Even without the Forge Spirit there, it probably would have bounced to the range creep and then killed him, but even then, a very risky ultimate coming out from the Lich, but the bounce has paid off.
Yeah, just... I first time now laid my eyes on the net worth chart as well. 4 heroes of GSe7en just dominating. Skywrath Mage, of course, isn't above the lineup of VoLT, but it's not really to be expected. Look at the graphs as well. It's almost a 7,500 gold lead already, 8,000 XP. So it's safe to say that they're definitely in the driver's seat here.
Oh, hookshot onto the Enigma over here towards the right. He's going to be cogsed in. In the meantime, the Scarlet Mage will kill the Clockwork, but the arrow is going to be on the mark on the Enigma. There's a Sunstrike. Going to split between the creeps doesn't do a lot of damage away of Quadza, so all around the map going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Didn't actually see what happened to the Slark. Looks like he was just silenced up by the Scarlet Mage. Hoof stomp, double edge, easy kill.
Yeah, and I actually think that this kill was still heavily in the favor of GSe7en. I mean, Enigma, he's still a position 4 in theory, while Slark, man, he's the one that's supposed to carry VoLT into the late game. Maybe the Silencer, but it's not like the Silencer has a lot of farm either, so if you can just shut down the Slark, which they have been doing so far pretty damn well.
Arrow in mid. We're going to have a Leo. He's going to be stunned up, but they just don't have the follow-up for there. Just going to stand awkwardly, take a lot of harass, but in the end, not going to net them a kill.
They're just fishing and fishing, but Nothing comes out of it, and Quadza has to be careful bottom lane as well. Center hoof stomp into Mystic Flare, which is gonna be off cooldown in 3 seconds time, might just set up another kill.
Easily. I mean, you just look at the farm on the Silencer. Is working towards the mechanism. Will almost have about 300 gold. But, well, there's your Slark. He's going to be able to get out of to safety with that Shadow Dance used. Center Ultimate also deployed, trying to chase him around, but they guessed the wrong direction, it seems. So not going to be able to catch out Jojablaria. But in the meantime, they're going to lose their mid-tier 1 tower to the Enigma with his Eidolons.
And this Eidolon cosmetic, they look like something out of Matrix or something like that.
I don't know, they look like detached eyeballs that have been dyed purple.
They look so weird to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love the normal Eidolons that look like the Enigma himself.
Yeah. I don't know, Clockwork down in bottom. He needs to be careful. He does have the Slark there as well. Scarlet Mage has backed off from the Centaur, and Slark, not sure if he caught eyes on the Centaur. I believe he did, but maybe it's nighttime. Possibly did not. He's going to go for the Enigma. The Pounce is going to lash onto him. There's just not a lot of help for this Enigma to be found. Will he be able to chase him down? However, he's actually going to back off. I thought he'd go for the secondary Pounce, but decides it's not worth it.
Yeah, I was so sure he's going to go for it as well. I have no idea why he actually backed off. Top lane arrow misses as well, but I think it was a missed opportunity at the moment by the Slark. It's like any kill for them counts. Just getting any XP, any gold at all. They can get their hands on. But top lane, Chronosphere was used. Actually didn't catch a single hero, and now time walks away. And tower probably will be denied because of this.
Yeah, a very questionable Chronosphere coming up from Genji. He'll find himself an invisibility rune, but not going to do anything since Chronosphere is on cooldown. He does have the Midas ready as well. I don't know. Probably should go ahead and use that one.
And that's exactly what he does as well. Going for a Mask of Madness now. His bottom lane, Invoker is the one actually getting the kill with the Sunstrike, but man, this Centaur just, once he got his Blink, he's been making so much stuff happen on the map. Blink, Hoof Stomp, and they have so much setup overall. I mean, the Mystic Flare, the Sunstrike as well. Who can survive that burst? There's like nobody.
Yeah, definitely not any of the heroes on VoLT's team. Let's see, Tier 1 tower down in bottom is going to be the next target for G7. They've smoked a lot of the heroes and are going to back around to see who actually decides to defend. It looks like they're just going to give this one up as everybody's starting to group around mid. They'll throw a flare, but that's not really going to stop anything.
Yeah, it's looking extremely bad. Invoker also going for a Necrobook as well, just to speed up the push even more for them. Get the mana drain going, maybe have vision of, or just get map control really, man. At least Silencer has his own mech finished as well, so they will have the burst heal for themselves as well, if he can even get to use it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know, the way these fights have been going, he's just gonna die so quickly. And, I don't know, he might have to global in order to use his mechanism. I don't know, it's just not looking very pretty.
It most certainly is not, and I mean, GSe7en, they're even farming off the enemy jungle, and VoLT, they can't even do anything about it. Usually it's like, yeah, you're 5-man, maybe get the fight in enemy jungle, but Chronosphere, it comes out onto 2 heroes. The global silence is there a little bit too late. Sunstrike was already used. Quadza might go down next. Yes, he's gonna get Black Hole. And can they go for more? The Chain Frost instead actually gets the counter kill on the Faceless Void, but it's a 3-for-1, and well, Faceless Void is like, yeah, worth.
Yeah, despite getting the max bounces on that Lich Chain Frost, it mostly bounced to the summoned units rather. And now the tier 2 tower is going to be under some heavy pressure, and not a lot that Mirana and Lich can do to counter push this. Lich can throw out a Frost Blast, and I'd like to see him do so, but oh, they're going to jump into him, the double edge. Oh, he should have stomped there. They would have gotten the Sunstrike and the kill, more than likely, but still. They're going to zone out the both supports, and tier 2 towers should fall sooner rather than later. Arrow to Fly going to land on a range creep. Invoker falling very low under tower, Wolf Force Staff away, and I don't know, just kind of an awkward standoff. It looks like they might not actually get this tier 2. Depends on if they stick around or not. It looks like they will back.
Yeah, once those Eidolons go down, they don't have the best push after on Clockwork. He wants to get the hookshot. Can he land it though? Not even gonna attempt it.
Canceled it twice, and yeah. I mean, if he catches a Skywrath Mage, that's a good kill, but if he doesn't catch the Skywrath Mage or the Invoker, they have a Sunstrike going into it, as well as the Skywrath Mage ulti, and without a Force Staff on their team, or at least I believe that's the case. No, Centaur's gonna get the double hoof stop with Skywrath Mage ulti on one, Sunstrike on the other. They get 2 kills, Clockwork and Lich down, and now the Silencer also in a heap of trouble, going to an Arcane Bolt in the face, and just look at the damage, they're just right-clicking him, double edge to secure the kill, 3 down on the side of VoLT. Now the tier 2 tower should die.
Yeah, I mean, it may be a little bit too early to call it, but I think there's no coming back with the kind of lineup that VoLT has against GSe7en. I mean, now, since GSe7en got the early lead, they have an advantage with their lineup, I think, every single step of this game. I mean, VoLT, it was really just win the early game or just lose the entire game.
Yeah, definitely. Enigma has himself 2.5k gold. He could be, well, Chronosphere and mid with the Sunstrike on this slug, that's going to be a dead slug. I don't know, just too much damage. They can get pickoffs pretty much anywhere around the map, and it looks like they're just going to start 5-manning down mid. Even though they don't have the scariest pushing lineups, with the Eidolons as well as the Forge Spirits, they can definitely afford to do this.
They most certainly can, and, well, looks like Show the center, the pipe might be coming out. No, actually went for plate mail instead, so has himself just a casual cloak instead. I guess the magical damage from a level 1 Chain Frost isn't all that scary after all. But
yeah, he also has the Shiva's recipe on the courier, so I'd expect him to pick this up after the fight, depending on how it goes. They're going to start it off with a stomp onto the Silencer. Sunstrike to secure the kill, not a lot that they can do. Tier 2 tower also follows. Blade Mail finished by the Clockwork, Maelstrom by the Faceless Void. And it looks like for now they're going to back off, just let the Forge Spirit and Necronomicon level 2 do some chip damage to T3.
Yeah, they're at the point that, yes, even if they feed away the Necrobooks, which is something usually that you wouldn't want to do, oh, never mind, he's gonna micro them back the tower. No, don't go. Nah, just feeding away some XP. But doesn't really make a difference. They're getting so many kills, and that's exactly what we were talking about as well. I mean, the Silencer, yes, it's good that he has the mech, but if he just gets stunned up and bursted down immediately, not gonna do him any good at all. And now we've reached the point where every single one of G7's heroes is higher in net worth than any single hero on VoLT.
Yeah, and that's definitely not the position you want to be on. I don't know, G7, even if they were behind, they'd be able to get the pickoffs, but I just don't feel that power coming out from VoLT, especially when G7 are 5-manning like they are. They're not able to find any of these heroes out solo. And I like that G7 are being systematic about this and just choking out VoLT, making sure they can't get anything off of this map. They farm the enemy jungle, they've taken all of the tier 2s, and it looks like they'll back off for Roshan before they go high ground. Or at least that's the way they're posturing. They might even be able to just go straight up high ground. I'm not sure there's a lot stopping them. But still, playing it safe and should be able to take this game slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, Kalai is only 200 gold away from a BKB as well on the Enigma, so with the Roche kill, actually, we'll have enough gold for that as well. And with the BKB, yes, the Chain Frost can still cancel it, but I don't think he cares too much, at least. Can bait out the Chain Frost if nothing else.
I mean, at that point, you're using a lot of your damage coming up from the Chain Frost in order to cancel that black hole coming up from the Enigma, and then you still have to deal with Chronosphere, the stomps coming out from the Centaur. And, I don't know, even if you pick off 1 or 2 of G7's heroes, they still have plenty of damage to throw out the way of VoLT. VoLT are going to start smoking up, but I don't think they'll be able to get to this Roshan in time. Definitely not. Roshan's going to fall. They know that it's going on, but I don't think it matters at all.
Yeah, most certainly does not. I mean, what can they really do, VoLT? So they have a single hero, yes, Slark is the only one who is level 11, has a level 2 ultimate, but no hookshot being upgraded. Actually, you know, with the Aegis, he's going to go really deep, although the smoke and Kenji, can you actually make it out of their silence up immediately? Global silence used as well for it. Oh, they're going to get the Faceless Void for sure, but they might lose a few casualties there, Leo. The Chain Frost bouncing around, Sunstrike actually off target, Clockwork activate his Blade Mail, but is it going to be enough? Stampede is there as well. Is the backup going to get there in time?
Well, here comes the Centaur double edge after the Shivas, blows up the Clockwork, and they're also going to get the kill, or blows up the Silencer. They're also going to be able to get the kill on the Clockwork. They're going to lose the Lich as well, and it looks like even though they got a nice pick off on the Faceless Void, it's still going to be pretty much a disaster coming out for VoLT. Mirana is completely out of position. Slark is farming in the mid lane. They just don't have anything left in the tank to defend against this. They drop a Sunstrike, not sure where that was headed. Maybe fishing for the Mirana, didn't land on her at the very least. And well, yeah, I think this is tier 3 tower racks and possibly even game, no buybacks on the Radiant team. At the very least, they are going to respawn faster since they are behind in levels, but yeah.
That's definitely one positive, but it's like the best thing you can make of a bad situation. But in this game, their lower respawn cooldown just means more kills for G7, at least so far it has meant that.
Yeah, Invoker possibly posturing for another attack, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to speak of. They're going to jump in, and he intercepts the hookshot. Blade Mail, they're going to do a lot of damage away at the Centaur because of that activation on the Clockwork, but Centaur's just too darn tanky. They're going to get the kill on the Mirana as well. Scarf Mage ulti only had to clip the Lich. He's a little bit too fast in order to do that. Centaur ultimate deployed just to run back towards the range barracks, and it looks like 2 kills, and the barracks are going to be the cost of that attempted defense coming out from VoLT. They're going to jump in, they try to get the silencer, no bash is coming out, he's going to drop the chronosphere, a beautiful one, clipping the Lich as well. They're going to drop the stomp double edge, not even needed, and a godlike spree for Leo, and I don't think they can get them out of their base. It looks like they're just going to rotate towards mid.
Yeah, it's just clean sweep from G7. They really didn't give VoLT any chance at all in this game. They weren't spread out, like, didn't give away any solo pickups or anything like that, so just methodically, like you said, well, going for tower after tower, taking all the outer towers down, going for Roche and just then for safe racks, winning the fight, and overall really well played and outclassed.
Yeah, pretty much sums up that game, a 23.5-minute victory for G7 to take in game 1. Let's see if VoLT are going to be able to come back game 2. And, well, it didn't seem that G7 needed their Meepo that game. I'm kind of hoping we'll see it game 2. Always fun to watch a Meepo.
Yeah, it most certainly is, and speaking of game number 2, that's exactly where we will be heading as well. The lobby probably already up as well, there's just so damn fast with it all the time. So guys, stick around if you enjoyed. If you didn't, stick around anyway, just want to see some results. My name is Coucher, of course. You can follow me at Coucher on Twitter. My co-caster, CrandisV, is at CrandisV as well on Twitter, so be sure to follow us if you liked us or want to leave us some feedback. Check out HeflaTV, all the links are below the stream, but we're heading into game number 2 and it's just a few songs in between.